Figure eight walking is just an awesome game to start to bring down our dog's arousal levels. We would use figure eight walking basically everywhere and anywhere. I use it to start out my walks. I use it to cool down after I walk. I use it in between my walks. I use it for a variety of reasons. Each dog is different and why they might need it. Primarily, when I'm using figure eight, I'm de-escalating, like I said, an arousal. So from high arousal to low arousal. Figure eight, when we're starting out, we actually are keeping a really slow pace to it. It's very much like a walking meditation. So when we're starting out, I always like to use my dog on a harness with a double leash system for figure eights, particularly because some dogs who aren't used to the movement might pull against it, right? Like our dogs are used to speed, they have that need for speed and doing stuff, and suddenly we're walking in this very slow, boring pattern, and they might start to weave off of it. And we want to be able to have a nice, strong communication system. The other thing with figure eights is that one reason that they're decreasing arousal, not just because the pace is slow, but what's starting to happen is that our dog is getting into a predicted pattern. So when we are turning the corner, they can anticipate that. They are going to seek that turn the more we are conditioning them to that pattern, right? So we go here, we go around, it looks like this. Actually, before we go into the pattern, what I want to say is that we can start with integrating or introducing a figure eight by doing zigzags, doing circles, and then going into a figure eight. So some of you have dogs who will immediately think that figure eight is their life's bread and wonder, why have we not been doing this? Other dogs are like, no, not having it right away. So if you're that dog, what you want to do is start out with, you've got your dog on, I'm just going to have my dog on the left side. Doesn't matter if you're left or right, but I've got both hands on the leash and I'm keeping my dog fairly close in. So when I start my walk, I'm going to be going into a zigzag position or pattern, and I'm going fairly slow. And this is the introduction to, now we're creating some circles. So when I'm walking in my circle, once again, I'm keeping everything in my body fairly quiet, meaning I'm not talking to my dog, I'm not treating my dog, I'm simply moving in this nice, quiet pattern. Then I'm going to switch it up to a little bit of zigzag. And bring in a circle again. Nice job. So now when we come into the figure eight, I'm going in one direction, and a little bit of sniffing on the ground is totally fine. And I'm going in the other direction. Nice. So that's the start of a figure eight. Now what we can begin to introduce, once this is set into our dog, okay, yeah, we're doing the figure eight, is we can start using it for pace changes. And we'd want to do a pace change if we've got dogs who have like a really bright on switch, right? Like they're a 0 to 100 kind of dog. We can use that to our advantage by introducing a lower volume to that brightness, and that would be called a dimmer switch, or arousal up and arousal down. And so we can achieve that by practicing pace changes. I go fast, I go slow, I go in between. And that figure eight is the perfect pattern to start introducing that. So it would look like this.